going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. For any of those of you that might be new, my name is Steven Rosa and I am a semi-pro soccer player in the US, and today I'm going to be testing out two different grip socks brands. On the first hand, we're going to be doing the Lux Sports grip socks, and then I've been recently trying out the Pure Grip Socks brand. So I'm going to go out to the field, do some testing in them. I have already worn both pairs in team training and team games, and also in tryouts. So I've been testing them out a lot, really putting them through their paces. I've been wearing Lux grip socks now for over a year, and I've been recently trying out the Pure grip socks for about the previous month. So I've been wearing both brands now very consistently for a little bit. So I'm gonna go out to the field though today and do a comparison video and tell you guys which one I prefer. So if you guys wanna see it, let's get to it. Okay, back from the field. So now I'm going to talk about which pair of grip socks I prefer, especially after testing them out one after another today at the field. So I'm going to go through the things that I like and the things that I dislike about each one. So starting off with the Lux grip socks, whenever I was wearing them, doing the dribbling and everything, my foot really felt secure. The thing is, with the Lux grip socks, you do get the grips on the inside and outside of the sock. So it helps grip your feet and it also helps grip the cleat itself. So I felt like I was getting a lot better locked down and more control whenever I was making those sharp cuts and turns while I was dribbling. I really like that feature of having them on the inside and outside of the sock. And overall, it just makes my cleat, feel that much more secure than if I wear just like a normal pair of socks. It really does help with the lockdown, with that grip. It really does help. Then with like the agility, same thing. My foot just felt really secure inside the cleat. It just gives you that little bit extra, whenever you plant your foot, it gives you that little extra momentum to spring forward and everything. You don't have a lot of slippage. So I really did like the feel of that. I didn't get to do too much shooting because the field, as you guys saw, was really wet today, and every time I planted really strong, my foot slid a lot. So even the shots that I did take, they were kind of more just passes into the bottom corner. So I didn't get to take too many shots, but like I said, I've worn both of these pair of grip socks in team trainings, games, and also tryouts. So I know that the shooting feels also really good. It helps keep your foot really secure whenever you're planning to take the shot. So now talking about the things that I really like from the Pure Grip socks is also the same thing. It does help keep my foot, really secure as I'm making those sharp cuts and turns while dribbling. The one thing is that I don't really care for about these socks is they only have grips on the outside. You don't get grips on the inside of the socks. So whenever you're making those really sharp cuts and turns, you don't feel quite as secure as you do with the Lux because you don't get that extra grip to actually grip your foot on the inside of the sock. The sock only grips the cleat. The sock doesn't grip your foot as well. So you don't get quite as much lockdown, but at the same time, it also does the job. It's pretty good. It helps really keep your foot secure for the most part. It really only takes, very hard plant to really kind of feel any slippage at all. Then moving on to the agility, same thing. They felt really secure unless you took a really strong plant to one side or the other. You do get just that little bit of slippage inside the sock. The sock itself doesn't move in the cleat because the grip is on the outside, but since there are no grips on the inside of the sock, your foot does kind of slide ever so slightly inside the sock. But again, it does the job. It feels pretty good. And it's not really that bad for the price. You really can't beat it. Now, same thing with the shooting. I didn't get to take shots today because the field conditions were really bad. My foot was slipping in the mud because there was no grass there anymore. But I have worn those in games and tryouts and team training. So anytime I take a shot, again, you get really good lockdown. You don't get too much slippage whenever you're taking a shot. Only whenever you're planting really hard does your foot move, ever so slightly whenever you're, swinging through the ball. But other than that, really not that bad. Okay, so now moving on to things that I don't really care for, starting with the Lux. And these really aren't things that I hate, just little things that I think that could be improved on. One thing that I don't really care for with the Lux grip socks is that they don't have grips going up the back of the heel. Now, I did talk to them about this about a week or two ago, and I asked them if that was something that they could add, and they said that whenever they first started out, they actually did have the grips running up the back of the heel, but people with like laceless cleats and, really tight fitting cleats with a collar, they said that people were having a hard time getting them on, which I could see that. But I do think that if they had a variation with the grips running up the back of the heel, that would just help with the lockdown that much better. And overall, I think it would keep your heel from slipping up and down, because for me personally, my heel always slips up and down my cleat no matter what pair of cleats I wear. It could be laceless cleats, could be laced cleats, it doesn't matter. My heels always slip up and down. So I wish that they would add that feature on the Lux grip socks. Another thing that I wish that they would improve on, not something that I hate or dislike at all, just something I personally would like for my taste. Everybody's different though. I wish that there was just a little bit more cushioning on the bottom part of the sock. I kind of like my socks to be a little bit on the thicker side. And these aren't thin by any means, but I do wish that they were just a little bit thicker on the bottom. I feel like that would help keep your foot from, sliding around. It would really kind of fill up the cleat even more. But that's just like a really small minor detail that just is like a personal opinion. I know some people like their socks like super thin, and some people like them super thick. So overall, it's a good balance, for those, who kind of swing from one major scale to the other. But for me personally, I wish that they would be just a little bit thicker. Now moving on to the thing that I think the Pure Grip socks could do a little bit better is adding the grips on the inside of the sock as well. With the Lux grip socks, you get the grips on the inside and outside, like I said before. And with the Pure Grip socks, you only get them on the outside. So I feel like the amount of grip that you would get would be so much more improved, if the grips were on the inside of the sock as well, because the grips on the outside of the socks really do a really good job. I'd say maybe even a little bit better than the Lux, but the problem is, since you don't get the same grips on the inside of the sock, your foot does kind of slide around in the sock whenever your sock kind of gets really wet from sweat, especially after like a long intense training session. It does begin to kind of slide around ever so slightly, but overall it still does the job way better than what a normal sock would do. So really no complaints, just something I wish that they would add. Also, another thing that I wish that they would do is also improve the thickness of the sock. Now, for me personally, I haven't had any issues in the short month that I've had them and have tested them out, but I have seen from other people that have the Pure Grip socks that they are wearing down after a couple months use, that they're getting holes in the toes and around other parts of the foot. So I hope that I don't have that problem, but if I do, I think that it could be solved by making the material just a little bit thicker. Same complaint I have with the Lux Grip socks. I wish that they would just be a little bit more on the thicker side. And with the Pure Grip socks, I think that they're even a little bit thinner than the Lux Grip socks. So now it comes down to which pair of grip socks would I choose personally for all of my games, tryouts, team trainings, all that good stuff. And personally, I would go with the Lux Grip socks, just because having the grips on the inside and outside of the sock really does make a huge difference. I feel like the quality is just ever so slightly better. Nothing too major, they're pretty much the same, but I do feel like the overall quality of the Lux Grip socks is a little bit better. Again, the only thing I wish that they would add is the grips going up the hill like the Pure Grip socks does. But overall, both brands are really good. They're about the same price point. I'm pretty sure both of them are around $15. And with Lux, you can get them on Amazon with free Prime shipping if you are a Prime member. And with the Pure Grip socks, you do have to pay shipping for those. So if you want them quicker and you don't want to have to pay a shipping fee, then I think Lux definitely would be better, because you can get them very fast and you get free shipping. But overall, both brands are great. It's up to you which ones you guys want to try out. You can try out both. I really like both, but I think Lux does just take the edge ever so slightly. But that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this video. If any of you guys are new, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, click the little bell notification as well. But that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.